G'day from the Bureau with your weekend forecast around the country and also a quick look at what we might see into next week as well. So first off, the weather pattern over the last couple of weeks and especially this week has continued to be driven by very large, slow-moving, high-pressure systems like you see here. And that's going to be the theme this weekend with the only weather, really some coastal showers along the east coast, parts of Western Tasmania and for inland parts of WA, while the rest of the country will remain fine and clear. Now, as we move into Saturday morning, we're likely to see morning fog and frost patches through southeastern parts of the country, but definitely a sunny day on the way, not just for the southeast, but pretty much anyone through inland and northern Australia. Again, the only kind of weather will be across the east coast and Western Tasmania, but also clearing out in WA as well. Then we see this high move into the Tasman on Sunday, and then another quick front just impacts southwestern parts of WA, but no widespread rainfall expected with this, just some light showers along the south, and then that'll quickly move through southeastern parts of the country as well, but very little rainfall away from Western Tasmania and southern parts of Victoria, while coastal showers will continue along the New South Wales and Queensland coast, and when fine conditions continue elsewhere. But what I want to draw your attention to is as we move into early parts of next week, you can see another very large high pressure system has moved into the Great Australian Bight, and that's impacting the weather right around the country and will continue to do so as it has the last few weeks well into next week as well. And that's pretty typical for this time of year where we see these large slow moving high pressure systems move across southern parts of the country. And normally they block a lot of the big rain systems impacting us here in Australia and only bring in showers in the east, sometimes the west and the southwest, but start bringing cooler, drier air to our tropical north. Now let's look at some of those impacts in more detail. When we do have a very large high in the Great Australian Bight, if you're west of the high, we start getting these warmer, drier continental winds into parts of WA. And that's why we've continued to see for weeks now the very warm and almost summer-like temperatures through parts of WA. And only very recently we've seen some cooler air as we get some of that cooler southerly wind feeding into WA. But unfortunately, for those looking for rain, this dry weather will continue there. But then we move into the other side of the country when we're east of the high now, with the high sitting down here in the Great Australian Bight. That's going to bring cooler southerly winds to much of southern and southeastern parts of the country. And normally the only weather here is the coastal showers through southern parts of Victoria, Tasmania and coastal areas of New South Wales, where inland areas will continue to see these cool, foggy and frosty mornings, but very dry and sunny days. Then as we move further up the coast, as these winds tend a little bit more easterly or southeasterly around that high in the Bight, we start to see this constant stream of showers and gusty winds about coastal parts of Queensland and northern New South Wales. But once you get inland, the dry, warm and sunny weather does continue there with no rainfall. And following those winds into northern parts of Australia around these large high pressure systems, we see very dry conditions across the tropical north, and our nights are starting to get cooler as that dry air moves up into far northern parts of the country. But the days will continue to be quite warm with temperatures in the mid to high 30s. So that is something we typically see this time of year in April and May around the country as large high pressure systems continue to dominate the weather across much of the country. And for more information on the weather for your part of the world, make sure you stay up to date with the latest forecasts and warnings via our website, app and social media.